So my hallucination. Hey guys, it's Phil, and I was diagnosed with bipolar a few months ago. So I haven't made a video in a while. While I have the motivation to do it, I'm gonna come out here and record like several of them. You're gonna see the same intro for a lot of videos. I didn't realize it at the time, but I was definitely manic. I went on this like crazy Facebook commenting tear, and I mean, sometimes I like to comment on stuff, but not very often and not very much. But that night, I just went on this tear. I didn't realize what time it was, and I ended up going to sleep so late, like 3:34 or something like that. And I say so late because I always try to take my trazodone latest midnight. Lately I haven't been doing so well. I just constantly forget what time it is while I'm doing things. And I forgot what I was gonna say. Thank you, medicine. Right. So, and then in the morning, I woke up at like maybe 7, and as soon as I opened my eyes, that was the first thing I wanted to do. I just walked over to my computer. The moment I opened my eyes, I got out of bed, walked over to my computer, opened up my laptop, and just started commenting again. And I forgot to eat breakfast until like maybe 10 or 11, at which point I went downstairs and started making my breakfast. As I was eating, I was like, so what do I want to do today? I'm gonna get this done, I'm gonna get that done. I'm gonna have a good day today. And I go back upstairs, and I believe I got back to commenting again, because this part of my memory gets a little bit fuzzy. But while I was doing that and typing, I had this like zoom out effect happening. Not that everything appeared far away, but everything seemed to zoom out, and that's like a fine hair I want to split. It didn't look far, it just looked like it was zoomed out. And you know what, I've gotten that before on trazodone. Like if I don't fall asleep fast enough with the trazodone, it'll do that to me, but I just try to fall asleep or I let it pass. So that's what I was thinking this time. I'm just gonna let it pass. But everything started racing, and I was like, this is not normal. I'm gonna go lay down. And I tried laying down, and still it was doing that. So I tried closing my eyes. And when I tried closing my eyes, my skin started turning into stone. It was the oddest sensation. I was not high, I was not drunk, perfectly sober. And here I am, thinking my skin is turning into stone. And it wasn't just like my skin, it was getting encrusted. I made a fist with my hand, and yeah, my fingers are touching the inside of my palm, but that it didn't feel like that. I felt the way the Thing from Fantastic Four might feel, just really, really thick, completely encrusted in stone. And I had that sensation where my fingertips were made of stone, and so was my palm. And I had the sensation of stone against stone. It was just unreal how real it felt. And over time, my arm just started crusting so much that I was afraid that I wasn't going to be able to move my arm anymore. So every now and then I would just move my arm just to make sure I can still move. And while my eyes were closed and while all that stone stuff was happening, I started seeing, only when my eyes were closed, I started seeing the faces of people I knew, simple things, and buildings, just random buildings. I've never seen these buildings before, just random buildings. Oddly enough, the first thing I saw was the YouTube logo, and it was very slow at first, like a very gradual change. But the only way I know how to describe it is it's the most profound kind of decay you can think of. It was breaking, it was cracking, it was getting dilapidated, decrepit, it was rotting, getting all putrid. Now, here's the thing. I had the distinct feeling that this is not clean. Even rotting, in this sense, is clean, because rotting is like a very natural process. It's normal. But what I was seeing, I had that distinct feeling. What I'm looking at is not clean. It is the exact opposite in every way, shape, and form you can possibly get, because of all the decay and cracking and breaking, and just so many crack lines, just so many that like it looked dark. Like all the lightness went away from it because of how many crack marks and just decay. I just don't know how to describe it. Now that same thing, the next thing I saw was a building, just some random building, maybe like 5-6 stories tall, And the same thing was happening to that building. Just imagine as if there were no human beings around and you put a time lapse over 1,000 years. What would happen to that building? Times 1,000 with rotting and decay, and just every way you can think of, it was just getting bad and not clean. And then the worst part was, then I started seeing the faces of people I knew. And the same exact thing. It wasn't just rotting, it was dilapidated, it was decrepit, it was breaking and cracking, and just every form of decay you can think of on this planet. All happening at the same time. To the faces of people I knew. Hi. Making a YouTube video. And the faces of the people I knew, it was also rapidly aging. The same thing with the time lapse of the building, just rapidly aging, while rotting, while breaking, while cracking, just everything terrible was happening. And the rate of this decay started happening faster and faster and faster. Almost like what I described earlier with the zoomed out vision where it was racing. Same thing. It was getting to the point where I just could not handle it anymore. Like, cause imagine seeing that, just like, imagine seeing that to the faces of like your friends, your loved ones. My only hope, because what do you do in that situation? If you break a leg, you take your weight off of it. But in this situation, what do you do? My skin was turning to stone, and it's my mind. It's not like I can take my weight off of it. But my hope was that I could just ride it out, wait, and hopefully it'll subside. But no, that's not what was happening. It was getting faster and faster and faster, to the point where even when my eyes were closed, all that stuff that I was seeing felt like it was racing. I started freaking out. Like, I was having like a legit panic attack seeing all that stuff, and I was like doing everything I can to try to control my breathing. My heart was pounding outside of my chest. I could feel my blood pressure like right here. It was just unreal. And as I was panicking, I started crying. I feel like I tell you guys I cry a lot. Maybe I should cool it on that. But when I started crying, all of a sudden, just real suddenly, not like a light switch, not like on off. It was a gradual, but really fast gradual. It started going away. And while I was having this little episode, I did call my doctor's office, and unfortunately my doctor was on vacation, so I had to leave a message with one of the medical assistants, who thought it was nothing more than a panic attack. After it all went away, I got like super chipper. I got on the phone back with the doctor's office, and I was like, false alarm, no need to worry, I'm fine now. Yeah, I was like super chipper, and I put away the Facebook commenting. I just got to work, and I was just super productive for the next 2 hours. After 2 hours was up, I just lost motivation to do anything and everything. And that's what prompted my most recent depression. And it wasn't like a and stay down here kind of depression. It was hit bottom, come back up, and kind of get better sometimes, get worse sometimes, get better sometimes, get worse sometimes, and then hit the bottom again. I think the worst of all that was not drinking water. Like, I drank over 1.5 gallons the last 2 days of water trying to rehydrate. So that's what happened. Yeah, not the best. My next video, my previous video, subscribe button. Bye.